there. When he came back to California in the early 1930s, he started developing this product called Nutrilite. And his idea, the world's first multivitamin, this idea that with this nutritional supplement to the person's diet, that they could live healthier lives. And he began to develop that idea, but it wasn't received very well. So he needed to find a way to sell it person to person. He needed to have an ability to connect. Moved now to Grand Rapids, Michigan in the 1930s, 1940s. My father and Jay Van Andel are friends in high school, always talking to each other about an opportunity, wanting to be in business for themselves. My grandfather in the Depression lost his job. My dad's family, they lost their home. They had to live with the other family in an attic area during the time of the Depression. But my grandfather continued to tell my dad, he goes, the future's going to get better. We're going to work through this. We're never stuck. And so my dad continued to have that sort of an attitude. And when he met Jay in high school, Jay had that same thing. He was an entrepreneur. They wanted to be in business for themselves. And they talked about it all through high school. And even when they had to after high school, serve in World War II, they served in different capacities. They would write letters back and forth to each other. And I remember a letter from Jay saying, someday this war is going to end, Richie. I said, Richie? I never knew anybody called my father Richie. Someday this war is going to end. Someday we're going to have a chance to be in business together. And they continued to focus on that idea. And so when they got back after World War II, they did get a business together. They decided they wanted to be in business so much, it really didn't matter what the business was, so they started a flight school. They taught people how to fly shortly after World War II. Now, the interesting part about this is that neither one of them knew how to fly. Didn't matter. So if you're here wondering right now, I don't know if I can do this business, welcome to the club. Nobody knew if they could do this business. But they just kept working at it. Well, let me keep moving forward with that. So they were in the flight school business for a little while. Then things changed a little bit. They're in the restaurant business as well. They did the flight school in the daytime. They did a restaurant at night. And Dad and Jay over the years would always say, be in the restaurant business once. So that's the hardest business ever.
Yes.
Everybody wants to eat at the same time.
Yes.
If they would just spread it out, it'd be so easier to staff, and get the menus, and make it work. Business is tough.
Yes.
But as time went on, they wanted an adventure. They wanted to go to South America. So they sold they wanted to sail to South America. So they sold the flight school and they bought a boat. Went to the East Coast out in Connecticut. They found a boat, a 38-foot boat, the schooner Elizabeth. And they were going to sail to South America. The fact that they had never sailed in the ocean before didn't matter either. And in fact, they did so well with the boat, they made it all the way to Cuba before they sank. They did. And as they kind of tell the story, he said, we didn't know that the boat wasn't supposed to leak so bad. We'd never been in boats before. We thought every boat leaked. Well, they kept it afloat long enough to get to Cuba. They got rescued, but they didn't come home. They got rescued, and they continued on with their trip. Because they had set a goal to go to South America, and they kept doing it. Well, when they came back from that, they were looking for the next business opportunity. And here's where those two little stories come together. Jay's mother's cousin was a Nutrilite distributor selling Nutrilite. And said, do you think the boys would be interested in an opportunity like this? And so she talked to Dad and to Jay, and my dad said, Jay, he's your family, you talk to him. I'm going out with friends. Well, they did have that conversation. Dad came back that night. They said, it sounds interesting. Let's pursue it. They went to a meeting in Chicago. Huge meeting. Must have been 100 or 150 people there. Huge. And a couple things happened there. They talked to their sponsor, the person who had invited them, Jay's mother's cousin. So do people really buy this stuff? Is this real? I mean, do people really buy this product? And their sponsor didn't give a big fancy story. He just took out his appointment book and he said, "Well, boys," good Dutch accent. "Well, boys, on Tuesday, I sold a box of Double X to so-and-so, and on Wednesday morning, I had an appointment here, sold them a box of Double X. In the afternoon, I sold 2 boxes and sponsored somebody in the afternoon." And he just went through his appointment calendar. And he said, "Yeah, boys, this business works. And if I can do it,
You can do
I
it.
think you can do it too." Simple. Not easy. As Conti said, it's not an easy business. Simple business. So on the ride home from Chicago back to Grand Rapids, and the conversation they had, they said, "This is the business we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're not going to look for other businesses. We're not going to try to dabble in anything else. We think we can do this one." Sold their first box of Double X in a service station along the way and never looked back. Simple.